Okay, welcome back, Prep 2, to part 3 in poetry. First, let's talk about the poet who wrote this poem, The Flower, Lord Alfred Tennyson. Lord Alfred Tennyson, he was the most important Victorian poet, which means he lived in the time of Queen Victoria. And he was the son of a clergyman, which means his father worked in a church. And he attended Cambridge University. That means that he was well educated. He wrote plays and poems. Number 2, the new vocab here. In the first stanza, we have the word cast, which means throw. The word through, like THRO apostrophe, this is written in Old English. It means through. Weed, it means wild plant. To and fro, it means forward and backward. Guarding bower, it means guarding fence, and the fence is the wall that we build around the garden to protect it. Muttering, it means speaking in a negative way, which means they are criticizing and saying bad things about his work. Discontent, it means unhappiness. They show dislike to his work. Curse, it means to speak angrily about someone, okay? When they were cursing him, they were insulting him, saying bad things about his work and himself. Okay. In the second stanza, we have or, like O apostrophe ER. This is the Old English for over. Far and wild, it means everywhere. Sowed, it means planted, okay? So that means the thieves planted the poetry everywhere. Splendid, it means beautiful, okay, or wonderful. In the third stanza, we have the word fable, which means short story. The word poor, it means ugly. Indeed, which means really. Also, number 3, the figures of speech of the poem. We have once in a golden hour. Here it's a metaphor, as the poet here is comparing between time and gold, okay? As if time is made of gold. To and fro they went. Here it's a contrast, as he used opposites like forward and backward, okay? To make the meaning clear. Cursed me and my flower. Here it's an alliteration. You will find that the words me and my starts with the same sound. Okay? So he used an alliteration to create music. Okay. Also in the second stanza, the figures of speech, we have here, it wore a crown of light. So here it's a personification, as he regarded the flower as a person who has a head and he can put a crown on top of it. Also, it wore a crown of light is a metaphor, as he compared the light itself to something that can shape the crown. Okay? Stole the seed by night. Here it's an alliteration. You'll find the word stole and seed start with the same sound S. So the sound S here to create music. So did far and wide. Here it's a contrast. Far and wide, okay? So it's a using of opposites to clear the meaning or to make the meaning clear. By every town and tower, here it's also an alliteration between the word town and tower. They start with the same sound T to create music. Of course, metaphor and personification, this is the figures of speech. And alliteration and the rhyme scheme is the sound devices for you to know. Okay. In the third stanza, read my little fable. It's a metaphor here, as he compared the poem to a short story that teaches us lessons and many things. And some are pretty enough, and some are poor indeed. Here it's a contrast between pretty and poor, okay, to make the meaning clear. We have two opposites to clear the meaning. And some are pretty enough again, and some are poor indeed. Here there is a repetition, as he repeated the phrase, and some are, okay, 2 times, okay, to confirm the meaning. We use the repetition to confirm the meaning. The rhyme scheme in the entire poem is A B A B C A C A. This is in the first stanza. In the second stanza, we have D E D E F A F A. This is in the second stanza. In the third stanza, we have G B H B I B G B. So again, the rhyme scheme is A B A B C A C A D E D E F A F A G B H B I B G B. This is the entire rhyme scheme of the whole poem. You'll find a question written in the booklet here. What is the flower compared to in the poem? We mentioned that when we paraphrased the stanza. The flower here is compared to his poetry. It's like he says that my poetry is like a flower. Okay, and he wrote his poetry that some people didn't like in the beginning, and he was upset when his poetry was criticized and many people said bad things about it. But later on, after a while, many people started to like his poetry and spread it everywhere. Okay? So this is the analysis and the explanation of the flower. I hope you study it well, because you know the form of the questions in the exam, so I need you to study first the entire stanza, okay, the 3 stanzas written in a paper, and then you will be able to paraphrase it. This is another question, and write short notes about the poet, to know the meaning of the words, and to write the figures of speech and the sound devices, including the rhyme scheme. Thank you, and see you in another lesson.